Today we are going to learn more about internet basics, more terms which is related to internet that we are going to learn. First term, if you see, that is HTML, hypertext markup language. In my previous videos I have explained whole HTML, so I don't think so I need to explain it more. Just you can see its full form, that is hypertext markup language. Hypertext means where you can link it with other pages. As you all know that website is consists of many pages. So when one page is linked to another web page, that is hypertext. Then markup means different type of tags which you are using in HTML, and as this is a language with the help of which you are able to create website, with the help of which you are able to write web pages. So this is the basic language with the help of which you can create websites. Next is protocols. Protocols are set of rules which one has to follow while working on the internet. Now whenever we are working on the internet, very basic thing which we need, that is the protocols, and the very basic protocol which we require, that is TCP/IP. TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, and IP is Internet Protocol. This particular protocol is combination of two protocols. Now why we need two protocols to send or to communicate? Simple thing, if we'll see that on internet the maximum thing which we are doing is sending and receiving the messages. It could be in the form of pictures, it could be in the form of graphics, documents, and many more things. Whatever the things you want to exchange over the internet, you can exchange it very easily. That's why we need TCP/IP protocol for it. Now how this particular TCP/IP works? Whenever you are sending any data on the internet, at that time, whatever the data, even if it is a short message, even if you are writing hello or hi, then also that particular data will be broken into number of packets. Yes, whatever the communication you are doing on the internet, that will be communicated in the form of packets. So that particular message will be broken down into number of packets, and then this TCP will break the data into number of packets, and then that IP protocol will take that packet from its source to destination. So this is how two protocols all together makes your communication possible. TCP will break the data and IP will collect the data, collect those packets from the source, and help those packets to reach its destination. So this is how TCP/IP works. Next protocol is HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Whatever the different kind of documents you are browsing, you are exchanging over the internet, that is possible with the help of HTTP. If you will see at the next protocol, that is again HTTPS. Only the difference of S is coming. Nowadays, as we are using technology, we are depending upon technology for even simple things, we need more secure protocols. This is again Hypertext Transfer Protocol working in the same way, but this S make this HTTP protocol more secure. How it is more secure? HTTP will take your documents, your picture, everything which you are exchanging, your the data which is linked from one website to another website, from source to the destination. What HTTPS is doing? It is encrypting your data. What is encrypting? Basically, whatever the message you have written, that will be coded into a language which could not be understood by any other person, which is only understood by when it reaches to the destination, and again that decoded message will come into its original form, so that the user for whom that particular message has been sent, that will be there, then and there only it will be decoded, so that the particular person could read it. So this is HTTPS. So you can see that the basic difference, when you are using HTTP, you can simply browse the hypertext files, whereas in HTTPS you can Even whenever you are entering your confidential details, your login credentials, your financial statements, or even you are browsing the internet for using your bank statements or any banking work, if you are doing this HTTPS, because it is secured, it is going to keep your data confidential. If you are exchanging your data, then it will be encrypted, and encrypted means it will be coded so that it could not be understood by the other user, and when it will reach to its destination, again it will be decrypted, means which could be understood by a person. So that encryption and decryption process is involved when we are using HTTPS protocol. Now next topic, next term which we are going to use, that is blogs. Blogs, basically whenever you want to write something which you want that everyone should know your thoughts, your feelings about a certain topic, at that time you can write blogs. There are different kinds of blogs. First one is the personal blog, which you are using for writing different kind of things, different kind of articles, your thoughts, expressions, anything you can mention here, but that you are going to share with your friends and family. So that is up to you with whom you want to share or not. Then company blog, that may be related to some organization, they are using it for their different kind of policies or communicating some important messages only to the people, those who belong to the particular organization. Non-profit blog, that is again, they are not like some sort of NGOs, they are creating so that they can spread some social awareness in it. Politics blogs, which is related to, like if you want to express your political view related to any matter, related to any incident, for that you can use politics blog. News and views, whatever the different news, current happenings, or you want to give your views on it, that you can use. Then you have microblog. Microblog means when you have very short message. You all have heard about Twitter. Twitter is the best example of microblog. So whenever you want to write some short message, you want to give your opinion, but in very short, then you can use microblog. Now there are certain advantages and disadvantages of blogging. What are advantages? As whenever you are using blog, at that time you don't need to use any particular hardware or software requirement you need. Everything you have in your smartphone, with the help of which you can able to express your opinions and thoughts. You can pen down your feelings, your thoughts wherever you want and whenever you want. No special setup of office is required. Anywhere, whenever you want to write something, whenever you want to share your feelings, you can simply pen it down with the help of this social networking platform, that is blogging. Another thing is, if you want to comment on someone other's feeling, thoughts or opinion, that also you can do with the help of blogs. Now let's come to disadvantages of blogging. Whenever we think about the disadvantages, first of all, it should be optimistic. Optimistic means you are writing something with a positive approach, but it is not always positive from others' opinion. It could be negative also. So they may remark or comment in such a way that you can be easily discouraged. So it is a platform where you are have to be very honest, very true to your opinions and feelings, but don't expect the same thing from others. It could be slow also, like when you are writing something and you want people's opinion on it and they are not giving positive remarks, you may discourage. Don't get discouraged. That may be slow process. Slowly you may get more and more comments from them. So there are different disadvantages of blog which we are writing. You are writing because you feel a very important topic related to it, but sometimes that is not the case for other people as well. Maybe the comment of the users are very rude, so don't get affected by those rude comments. And always remember that you have to be very disciplined and continuous in your work so that people should not lose interest in your blog. And next is, whatever the things you are writing, it may be very authentic, and it is always good that whatever you are writing, you should check that information, then only you mention in your blog. But then also it could never be considered as reliable when you are using or when you are writing something in your blog. Next is news group. News group is a platform where you can share your interest, your opinion, your feeling, but then how it is different from blog. In blog, whatever the feelings you have, it should not be like on some specific topic that may be according to the current situation prevailing in the country, or maybe something related to day-to-day life. But in news group, whatever the things you are discussing, all the people, those who are in group, they are going to share their views on a similar interest. So you can say that news group is a platform where people with similar interest making a group so that they can share the news, thoughts, feelings and opinions which is related to that particular group only. Maybe some scientist group, they are sharing scientific news. Maybe a group where you can have all the students, those who are in class 10th, and they want to share all the latest CBSE circulars which is there in the CBSE side. So news group is a platform where you can share the interest of all the people all together, but that particular interest should be one. All are having same interest, then only you can have the news group. So these are the this is the last term which we were discussing, that is news group. I hope each and every term is clear to every one of you. Please go through each and every term minutely so that you can understand all the things effectively.